Hi guys, so today's lab is a big one. We're going to combine the ideas of redox, which you've just been looking at, with the idea of titration, and that's going to be our the big conceptual part, is putting those two things together. So I have three half reactions, and before you begin, you're going to need to balance each of the three half reactions in acid, and then we're going to use these three to create two overall equations. So you're going to combine the first half reaction of oxalate with the second, the half reaction for permanganate. You'll put those two together and create a total reaction for the balanced equation of the redox between the permanganate ion and the oxalate ion. Then you're going to take the permanganate half reaction again and balance that and add that together with the hydrogen peroxide reaction to create the overall equation for permanganate reacting with hydrogen peroxide. Now, why are we doing this? Well, these two equations are going to each be a titration that you have to perform, or rather watch me perform. So first, I have a solution of potassium permanganate. I know the approximate concentration, but I don't know the exact concentration. So we're going to react that solution with a solution of sodium oxalate in order to find the exact concentration of the potassium permanganate. That's goal for titration 1, concentration. Then you're going to use that now known concentration of potassium permanganate. You're going to react that potassium permanganate with hydrogen peroxide, which we bought from Walgreens, and you're going to use the known concentration of potassium permanganate to figure out the percentage by mass of hydrogen peroxide in a store-bought hydrogen peroxide solution. So we use equation 1 and 2 to find this concentration, then equations 2 and 3 to find this percent by mass. That's your goal. Okay, in order to do our first titration, where we determine the concentration of the potassium permanganate, we need a very accurate solution with a sodium oxalate ion in it. So we're going to start with our flask. I'm going to zero it on the balance. And I'm going to attempt to put just under 0.2 grams of sodium oxalate into my flask. That may be good enough for us right now. Okay, so I have my sodium oxalate. I'm going to dissolve it in some water to create a solution so we can focus on the oxalate ion. And then, because when you balanced this for the redox equation, we did it in acidic solution. So we do need to make sure that this solution is acidified. So I'm going to add some sulfuric acid. It doesn't really matter exactly how much sulfuric acid we add, only that we do because it needs to be acidic in nature. And then for this reaction to work well, we actually need to warm it. So we're going to put this thing onto, once it's mostly dissolved, put it onto a hot plate, and we're going to get it up to somewhere between 60 and 70 degrees. And then we'll start with our titration. We have the burette ready and primed, filled with our potassium permanganate, which is this beautiful purple color. That's the permanganate ion. And you'll be able to read the initial value. And then, of course, when I'm done, you'll get the final value. Our solution is definitely well above 60. So we're going to go ahead and begin our titration. And what you'll notice is potassium permanganate acts as its own indicator. So it's this purple color. And when I add it to my sodium oxalate solution and swirl, as the potassium permanganate reacts, it disappears and that color disappears. So long as it is disappearing, I know that the oxalate ion is still present in solution, and I need to continue to add potassium permanganate. As soon as it stops disappearing, I know that there's no more sodium oxalate for it to react with, and that tells me I've completed my titration. So I'm looking for when I get just the faintest purple color remaining in solution. Well, that is beginning to hold its pink, which tells me the oxalate has reacted. It might get a little bit fainter with time as it reacts the last little bits, but I would say this is our endpoint. So what we need to do now is read the final volume.